Hi guys, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Debbie and I am a money coach. And today I wanted to ask you, is your budget too frugal? Let's talk about it. When it comes to budgeting, even just the budget basics, I always talk about lowering your expenses. And I have a video on how just by making 4 phone calls, I saved my family over $1,000 at the end of the year. And I'm gonna link that video at the end. So when you start tracking your expenses, that's one of the steps that I always tell my clients and my friends and just my videos to do, is to lower your house expenses, like your internet and your cell phone and your cable. Those are 3 big ones. Auto insurance I've lowered. I've even lowered my house alarm, and I've gotten free services and free channels and channel packages while they are working for me and lowering my monthly bill too. Because companies, if they are loyal to you and you show that you're loyal to them and they show you that they want to keep your business, they will work with you, and they'll even throw in bonuses to keep your business because they know that there's another competitor right around the corner that's probably offering a better package. So something to keep in mind. And that video, again, I'm going to link it at the end. But after you do that and you're looking at your expenses and you start to track them, one thing that I find that happens so often is most of us will find things that we didn't realize we were spending money on. And not only a little bit of money, but little bits of money that add up to a big amount. For example, takeout, eating out in restaurants, ordering food, the infamous cup of coffee. And so when we want to make our money work for us, many times I see that people just drastically cut those expenses out of their budget. No more cups of coffee, no more drive-throughs or takeout. I'm gonna make my meals at home every day. And although that sounds great when you say it and on paper, if you make your budget too frugal, there are so many things that can go wrong with it. One way that I like to talk about money is to associate it with food. I'm a foodie. And so have you or someone you known said to themselves that as of, let's say January 1st, that as of January 1st, they're going to start eating healthy. They're going to start preparing meals at home. They're going to start working out and they're going to lose weight, right? And it sounds great. Again, they even go to the extremes of like grabbing a bag and throwing everything that's processed foods or junk food into this garbage bag and they throw it out because it's January 1st and new year, new me, right? What happens when it's like February, let's give them to February 15th. Do you still think that they haven't had one indulgence? Do you really think that they're still eating boiled chicken and salmon? No, that's what happens when you go too extreme. Instead of developing good habits that can in time turn into bigger, better habits that'll save you calories, that'll save you on gaining weight, or when it comes to money, that'll save you money. Instead of taking it slow and developing habits, people are too extreme sometimes. So in the case of the person that throws all the junk out, by February 15th, if they aren't going through a drive-through, I'd be shocked if they're not getting that cup of coffee. So when it comes to budgeting, there are so many things that'll go wrong if you go too frugal. So one of the things that I like to talk about with my clients is I like to cut back on some of the expenses. Like when we look at the overview for the entire month, if you're spending $200, for example, on drive-throughs, and that might seem too much for some people, it might seem too low for some people. But if you see that someone is spending $200 on drive-throughs and they aren't meeting their expenses, or they're meeting their expenses but they're not putting anything into savings, they don't have an emergency fund, they have credit card debt or any kind of debt whatsoever, then maybe cut that in half, right? And by taking that extra $100 that you just saved there, you can apply that towards whatever goal you have, whether it's savings, an emergency fund, any kind of debt. But many people, they're like, no, I'm gonna do this right. I'm just gonna cut that $200 out, right? And just like with that diet, What happens is for the first month, you might be determined. You might be like, I'm doing this. I'm going to take control of my money and I'm doing it by myself. And this is what I'm going to do. And it looks great on paper, right? But give it a month, give it a month and a half. What happens if you're driving and you're hungry? Are you going to really not stop and get something to eat? Are you really not going to get that infamous cup of coffee everyone's always talking about? Are you not going to get it if you're running around and you're tired and you realize like, I can really go for a cup of coffee? Yeah, you are. And if it's not on your budget, then what happens? Now you're going to start feeling guilty for what you just did, for the money that you just spent, especially because it's been a month or a month and a half that you've been so good with the budget that you created. But if your budget is too frugal, then what's going to happen is you're going to start resenting your budget. And then just like when you're dieting, getting back to food, when you're dieting and you've been at this for a month and a half and every day just seems so torturous because it's like, oh my gosh, and those Burger King commercials, for example, you see that burger, you're like, oh my gosh. And then what happens, right? You're going to buy a package of Oreos, for example, and you're going to eat some or the whole thing. And then you're going to be like, there went my month and a half of being so good. I just ruined it with this package of Oreos. Forget the whole thing. When it comes to your budget, the same thing can happen. You might be too frugal for that month or month and a half. But once you get that drive-through, once you get that cup of coffee, once you spend anything, even $1 on something that you didn't budget, now the problem is you're going to start feeling guilty. And now you're going to think, I ruined it. Forget the whole thing. And then what happens? Now you're not tracking your expenses. Now you're just spending money. Now you're not looking at the budget because you realize it's not working for me. It's not working for me. And then that money mindset that usually kicks in, I'm just not good with money. If I had a penny for every time I've heard that from many people that are close to me and from my clients, they just tell me I'm not good with money. It's like, no, you're not born with the knowledge of being good with money. We've all made money mistakes, me included. We've all made money mistakes. But the biggest lessons that we can learn are from our mistakes. And by learning from your mistakes, that's what makes you better every month. If you go over budget by 1 month, learn from it. Learn from that mistake so that next month you can say to yourself, last month I blew it on drive-thrus. I'm going to give myself a little bit of extra cushion in that category so that this month I stay on budget. When your budget is too frugal, not only will you start resenting your budget, but you're also going to feel so restricted by it as well. So instead, what I recommend is to track your expenses, just your regular expenses. Don't change anything. Track your expenses for an entire month. Now you have an overview and numbers to play with the following month. And that's how you start coming up with your initial budget. What from the month before can you cut back on? Are there utility bills that you think are too high? Are there is your cell phone bill too high? Is your internet cable's a big one. I've saved so much money by calling my cable company, and not just once. I call like every 4 to 6 months and I get my bill reduced. It's so great that companies are willing to work with you. And when they're not, that's when you start shopping around. But anyway, that video at the end will help you with that. So when you look at the overview of your expenses, the first thing is your basic expenses. What can you lower? Again, video at the end. After that is miscellaneous spending. What are you spending your money on? And you'll be so surprised. You'll be so surprised to see how much you're spending on miscellaneous things that you don't need, that you didn't even know you were spending that much money on. You might have thought to yourself, it's $5 a month or $7 a month. And then you're looking at $100, $200 that you're spending on a miscellaneous category. Instead of just saying, forget it, I'm just gonna not do that anymore. That's creating a budget that's not realistic. And again, you're gonna get resentful. Instead, challenge yourself. Say to yourself, instead of me going to an extreme, I'm going to cut back. Let's try 50% of that expense. I'm going to give myself an allowance of $100 a month that I can go do what gives me pleasure. If it gives you pleasure to go get a fancy cup of coffee, get that fancy cup of coffee. I budget for fun money, and I also have extra money in my wallet, because if I'm driving around, especially like on the weekend when I run errands and I want to get myself a cup of coffee, I do. It's not a daily thing, it's a treat. And I have extra cash that I plan that's in my wallet in case I'm tempted. Most of the time, just knowing that that extra cash is in my wallet, I think to myself, if I don't get this, I can take that money and I can add it to my fun money. And then at the end of the month or the next month or whenever I want, I have a larger amount of cash that I can dedicate to that. I'm going to do a whole video on how I spend my fun money. And I really think that when you see how by having a fun category, and that doesn't include vacations, we plan for vacations as well, but fun money, by having fun money available to you, it can just be such a game changer. It can really help you see what you're spending your money on and really makes you think. Like, I can't tell you how many times I'm with my daughter, my teenager, and we're in the car and she's like, oh mom, let's stop at Dunkin' Donuts. Oh mom, let's stop at Starbucks. And I'm like, no, because to me, depending on where you stop, it's how much you have the amount in your head. And it's like, no, I have the cash there and I can get that. But you know what? I'm not doing that every single time I have her in the car. Absolutely not. I'm going to take that money, add it to my fun money. And it motivates you to build it so that you could do fun experiences or whatever you like. I have clients that their fun money are for their hobbies. They like to go to Hobby Lobby. They like to craft. I have clients who have their fun money is for manicures and pedicures. One saves up and at the end of the month, she has an 1.5-hour massage. I'm like, I'm like, I like that. But that's the point, is this is all a journey. This isn't just a quick fix like that person that on January 1st is going to throw all the junk food in the garbage, you know? By being too frugal with your budget, although you have the best intention and your energy and you're motivating, everything's in the right place. Unfortunately, by being too frugal and too extreme, you're going to set yourself up for failure. And the worst off is you're going to resent the budget, even though it wasn't set up for you to succeed to begin with. You're going to resent it. And then you're going to start overspending, not tracking your money, not knowing where your money's going. And then you're going to go from one extreme to the other, to feeling as though you don't have control of your money. And now you're back months before you even started this whole process. Or even worse, now you're in more credit card debt because you didn't track your expenses, because you just said, forget the whole thing. And, you know, like, I'm going to go shopping at the mall, or I'm going to go do this, or I'm going to go do that. So set yourself up right. Track your expenses for an entire month. Just look at it and say to yourself, I can play with these numbers. I can work with these numbers. And depending on how you are and your personality, see what you can come back on so that you can still enjoy yourself and still be able to succeed with your money. And I'm not speaking to the ones that are living paycheck to paycheck or barely living paycheck to paycheck. I've been there, and I have a video on how to get out of that cycle of living paycheck to paycheck, and I'll link that at the end too. But I'm talking to the ones who do have that extra cash, but they don't know where it goes. They don't know what they're spending their money on. So I hope this helped someone. And if you have never budgeted before and you want to start the process, I have a free printable that I will link down below. And if you use it, it's the basics. It's a general basics that you can use. It's very simple to just get you started and get you motivated to get into the process of starting to take control of your money. And if you need additional help from me, I'm going to leave a link to my calendar down below. Feel free to click it and schedule a call. I would love to see how I can help you. And you can also email me any question that you have. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please click it, share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe and to click on that bell. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.